prayer this morning. It's a morning prayer. Your word, O Lord, is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. Dear Jesus, keep me safely in your loving arms. Bless me with your peace that passes all understandings. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, excuse me, on January 22nd, for the Department of Water Resources, I approved and executed the service contract agreement with Go Green Heating, Air Conditioning, doing business as Auburn Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning to perform the HVAC and plumbing maintenance services at various water district locations within the department for a period of 1 year to be effective January 22nd, 2024, in an amount not to exceed $400. Additionally, I approved and executed a service contract agreement with Go Green Heating, Air Conditioning, doing businesses Auburn Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning to perform the HVAC and plumbing maintenance services at various wastewater facilities within the department for a period of 1 year, to be effective January 22nd, 2024, in an amount not to exceed $400.
Morning, Adrian.
Good morning. Okay, today's financials include a supplemental from the Commissioner's Office and the Capital Reserve Fund Phase 2 to provide for upcoming encumbrances. There's a cash transfer from the General Fund to Court Technology for a portion of their 2024 funding. There are some travel requests from the Engineer's Office to attend the Professional Land Surveyors of Ohio Annual Conference, and from Jaga Trumbull Solid Waste to attend the Keep America Beautiful National Conference. There's a purchase order from Water Resources to Valley Ford Truck for a 2024 Ford F-250 4x4 regular cab replacement vehicle, and that's replacing a 2008 F-350, which will be put on the county auction site and sold. Among the vouchers are $72,284 from the Auditor's Office to Integrity Appraisal Services for a partial payment on the 2023 revaluation and new construction valuation projects, and $54,103.41 from maintenance to Integrated Precision Systems Incorporated for upgrade and maintenance costs on the Safety Center security system, and a revenue certification from the Commissioner's Office in the Transit Administration Fund for additional reimbursement money received from the state in 2024.
Great. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve financials.
Second.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. DeBoer?
Yes.
Mr. Spade?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you doing the next?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that's fine. So these are the monthly financial statements from the county auditor and the county treasurer, number 3 and 4. So the auditor's office is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county auditor for the months of March 2023 through December 2023 pursuant to ORC 319.35. And then number 4, the treasurer's office is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county treasurer for the months of March 2023 through December 2023 pursuant to ORC 319.35.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion. On 3 and 4, are those not to be turned in on a monthly basis, or is it, because this looks like this is back from March of 2023 through December of 2023, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And Ohio Revised Code said that those are supposed to be pursuant to filed on a monthly occurrence?
Yes, that is the way the ORC reads, that's correct, yes. Sometimes there are discrepancies between the two reports that take some time to get resolved. Most of the time, we do get them, for the most part, on a monthly basis from the treasurer's office.
Yeah,
The auditor's office tends to be the one that takes a little longer to get them to us.
So, I mean, to me, reviewing those documents being so far behind that they're, little use to me at this point in time. The point of filing them on a monthly occurrence is so we can review them, correct? Or in the public.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah.
We have been trying to pursue them a little more.
I know the treasurer's office, I usually get those on a monthly basis. I didn't realize how far behind this batch was from March of 2023. I thought they were a little more current, but, I mean,
Well, we had been getting them all along, pretty much from the treasurer's office
Mhm.
up through, I think it was August or September, I believe. And then there were a couple of discrepancies that the treasurer stopped sending me theirs for a little while they were getting that resolved, because it was a reporting issue in New World.
okay,
So it took a little while to get that resolved, and then I actually got the auditor's office for October before the treasurer. And then, once I got through all of March through September, I requested the remainder of them from both departments, and they did send them to me at that point pretty quickly.
okay.
So we're all caught
Well,
up
hopefully we can get
through
these
January. Yeah.
going on a little, I know I've raised this issue, probably this time last year, probably, I think it was the same.
Yeah, it seems like we do this like 2 or 3 times a year at best.
Yeah,
So getting these all approved and checked over. We could do better.
for sure. I mean, there's always, this holding everyone to a high standard. And I think it, cuts both ways, so.
Right.
I'd like to see these on a little more timely fashion. I know that I'm talking to you, but hopefully in the future, those will come a little sooner.
Right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Right. Number 5 on the agenda today, the county engineer's office is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 24-014 to improve the embankment of the Bundysburg Road Bridge in Parkman Township and the embankment of the Gem Road Bridge in Chester Township.
Okay, very good. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Number 6, we're requesting the board approve, accept, and execute mortgage deed for sublot 364 in Canyon Lakes County, Phase 14B subdivision, held as 10% maintenance guarantee bond for improvements to the Canyon Lakes County subdivision, Phase 15. Basically what this is the commissioners will hold this parcel as a maintenance bond for a period of a year, should any repairs need to be done
Yep.
that the developer does not perform. This will be used as collateral to hire somebody to fix.
Excellent. Do you know how much more they have to expand over there? How many more lots?
I don't. My understanding was this was the last
Phase.
phase, but I've heard things, but
Okay,
we really don't get into future forecasts.
gotcha. Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice TV interview last week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for representing Geauga County.
And Maple Season.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I would. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is associated with the purchase and renovation of the Dollar General store. In this case, the purchase agreement is, we're working on it, and it's moving along. But in order to be able to have an architect to do the design and renovation of that space, we have to advertise for statements of interest and qualifications for professional design services related to the design and construction administration of, and this is for the senior center.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
You want to go ahead and read that? The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the discipline of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
And then attending this,
Myself, Craig.
okay.
And then you have a meeting when you come back.
Okay, sounds
Jerry,
good.
let me ask you, these reports, are these, do they need to be approved by the code? Is that what holds them up? So they're waiting on the other ones?
Jerry, and Kathy talked to John because the form is, there's an updated version. She also talked to her, she tried to call Donna yesterday.
I thought it should, the treasurer's usually, and I would like to. Yeah, it's been a while.
He has,
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. Big on following our rights code, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
How are you, Craig?
All right, so.
And the right number? You only have one? You're,
What time is it? I could check, but I
that's the
didn't.
same one that I
10-6 and 6.
10:06.
No, I was going to use that going forward. I'll use.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to redo anything, but that's the action we've always used. in the-
I know, but the new form has them all signing in the one block. So this is another form, so Tim's gonna sign here, you'll sign in this block, and then you'll have to sign over here on this side. I know, but the new form has different stuff on it. All right, are you ready?
All right, back from executive session at 10:06 with action.
The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board accept the disciplinary recommendation of the Director of Job and Family Services to suspend Jasmine Burns, Social Services Worker 2, for 16 hours, 2 working days without pay for violation of Section 3 of the Jog County Job and Family Services Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual, and further approve and authorize the board to execute the order of removal, reduction, suspension, involuntary disciplinary separation form for ORC 124.34 for 16 hours, 2 working days.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yeah.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Are you going to send those to me or should I just wait?
No, you can wait until
Sign right here.
the one, you only gave me one.
Tim
but I'm
signs it.
signing.
Oh, right, supposed to give.
Usually do 2.
Yeah, so sign it right there and then Tim signs it above my name here. Okay. Anything else?
Terry asked me later, I can't understand.
The only thing I had to report is a few weeks back, you guys requested the prosecutor to request a AG opinion, Attorney General's opinion, regarding the health district, whether it's a combined health district or a general health district. There was an article in the paper, I believe it's yesterday's paper, last week's paper, regarding where the prosecutor's quoted as saying his office will research the question itself and render an opinion letter on the topic if the answer is clear. So that is not exactly what you guys were requesting of him. I'm just looking for clarification on what you still wish to have that AG opinion done. I can, further notify the prosecutor if that's what you want.
Okay, explain that to me again. I'm sorry.
The request had been made by this board of the prosecutor to request an attorney general's opinion regarding the
Right.
health
Right.
district. What
If
the
it's a
prosecutor
combined-
said is he's not going to request an AG opinion, he's going to do an opinion of his own.
Oh,
And I don't know if you guys still wish to have the official AG opinion or wait to accept his opinion.
well,
This topic has probably been brought up over the state in the last 10 or 15 years, and I read the article, But somewhere along the line, I think if you want to zone in on, like the city of Chardon becoming a city in 2001, I'm sure that other cities that do not have their own health, or their health district, health board, and they don't want to, or that's the transition that they went, I'm sure there's another city in another county that has gone through that. And I'm guessing it has stayed the same. So let the prosecutor do his research on that, and I think that's what it hinges on. I mean, if the city has to have their own, or can they stay as it was before they were a city, then I think that's the question. Because there's 119 health boards in the state of Ohio, and some cities have their own, and just different things. Some are general, some are combined.
Okay. So I'm just reading this for the first time. He said he will research the question itself and render an opinion letter. Topic answer is clear. Okay, so he's going to give us an opinion?
That's what he's saying.
Okay. And isn't that what we asked? Are we asking for an
Ask for
AG?
an AG opinion.
Okay, okay.
What's the AG opinion have?
Well, let's see what, I guess let's see what he says, right? And,
Yeah, but his research,
yeah. I don't know, or, you know, I don't know how long that's going to take, or, you know, I don't know if it's critical to know, you know,
Right.
need to know right away, but hopefully within a timely turnaround, we'll get an answer from him. If not, then I guess you can
take the next step towards
research it
the
further,
AG.
Okay.
right? What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't, you know, a beach I'm gonna die on, but, you know, I am curious to see what the answer is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need one clarification on it.
And then one thing I want to bring up is, on the expansion of the courthouse, there's scheduling for the whole project. And we have to get the law library and probation out of the basement of the existing courthouse. And we've tried many ways. Linda's worked very hard to get it, but I feel that our back's against the wall, because if we don't get these two things out of the basement, then it messes up the schedule for the addition on the courthouse. So I'd like to have Linda look into putting these two departments into a building that we already own, that's on the square, and it's the Opera House. And see what the IT would cost us to put it in there. At least it's our own building, instead of, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Linda's tried very hard with lease and this with that building or this building, and I think our back's up against the wall to keep the scheduling, because if we don't meet the scheduling, it's going to run into extra cost.
So I guess let me ask you a question. Why is it that we're running into a backup with the scheduling? Because we've had a purchase order or a purchase agreement since November, beginning of November, and we still don't have that in hand to move forward. And I guess I need to be clear, like, what is holding this up?
To review a lease, right?
Right.
All I know is it's holding up.
But I guess what is it, do you know something that I don't know?
No.
Or is there an issue that we're not getting this back?
I don't know. You know,
I guess the phone call that needs to be made is or a letter we can call today is to call the judges and let them bring them up to speed.
Right.
As to why this thing is not moving along.
Right.
I mean, because we're ready, locked and loaded, ready to go, aren't we?
We are, and, you know, no different than...
We're just waiting for the
additional equipment.
prosecutor's
last
office
week.
to sign off, right? Is that, am I wrong or right?
In my understanding, yes, that's correct. The prosecutor sign off.
And Linda, maybe if you could, so as far as the lease, give us an update on the lease.
We started working on the lease at the beginning of December. It took us quite a while to get to a draft to send to the sellers, and that happened last week. And when they received it, they were very taken aback by the number of changes that were being proposed.
They were ready to walk, weren't they?
They said, go lease somewhere else.
Yeah, this is after our office the prosecutor's office had written up and
Yes.
corrected
They
their,
redlined about 60% of the lease.
yeah.
Very heavily. And so at that time, Jerry and I talked, and we decided to go to your outside counsel, Myers Roman, and they have a very experienced real estate attorney who then took a look at the lease and looked at the changes that the prosecutor's office had suggested, and then came up with an alternate version of it that still protects the interests of the county, but was a little bit less onerous to the sellers. And the current status of that is that we are ironing out the final details on it. The hope would be that we would have something ready to put before you by your next meeting on the 30th, depending on if we can get it certified by the auditor's office. If the prosecutor is not the one who signed off on it, the outside attorney signs off on it. It's very challenging.
Yeah. I mean,
But we're negotiating that, hopefully getting to a conclusion on the lease, not the purchase agreement.
You know, and I guess my concern is this, is that, you know, we're putting an enormous amount of time and effort into a lease of something that we're going to own if we get a purchase order or a purchase agreement done, that this is just a formality, not a, you know, it's, at the end of the day, we're going to be the key holders to this building, that we're going to have this lease. You know, or we're going to basically be the one that executes those leases. So this is just a temporary fix that we're making a huge deal about. And at the end of the day, we're, and that's why I voted no last week, is that I'm not going to put, $70-some thousand worth of equipment into a building that, we can't even get confirmation of a purchase agreement in place that's been sitting since November. And, so it's a situation where we've got to get some answers. And I know that, Jim, you were going to reach out to the prosecutor's office. What happened with that?
I did, and then this Friday, he was in court all day, didn't get back with me. I was busy yesterday, so just to enlighten everybody on that. But yeah, things are not going the way we planned. I totally agree with you, Ralph, but my concern, being from the construction industry for 50 years, it's like we're kind of put into a corner. We have a time frame, and I want to do the best we can to honor our scheduling with and work together with our owner's rep and the contractor, is to try to get these two departments out of the basement the first week of February, like between the 6th and whatever, and that's what's on my mind. I just want to express my feelings today. So.
No, and I think that the position of that move was looked at when we made the decision to go to purchase the Chase building.
I agree.
And it wasn't a good move then, but all of a sudden it's supposed to be a good move now. That's my only concern. And in addition to that, we're going to have to put a level of IT work in there, a level of cost of a building that the ultimate plan is to basically purchase the Chase building, get everybody moved out of that building and sell that building. And that's, I guess, my struggle with this, is that, we are putting good money to waste for a temporary fix that we're basically just waiting for approvals.
I don't know, is this, I'm going to put it out there, is this intentionally being dragged along? Is there some objection to us buying the Chase building, or
I can't
going into
answer
this? I don't know.
that. You'd have to ask the prosecutor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think, because it's real, this is not, people buy and sell buildings every day. It doesn't take this kind of an effort,
Especially in this situation, we're paying cash for this building.
Yeah, and also talking with outside counsel, that's another thing that's spurring my sale. That's maybe, the amount of money we've had to go out and spend with outside counsel to get answers when granted, they do turn around and give you an answer within probably 24 or 48 hours. So I guess you get what you're paying for, but I feel that this is either just a lack of want or this is intentional. So I really don't know, other than, without the prosecutor sitting here today, if there's something that is glaringly wrong with either the lease or the purchase agreement. If you could express that to us, that'd be great. Or Jim, if you could find that out, I don't know, because then we can correct that or change directions. Maybe we have to change directions. Maybe there's something wrong, I don't know. But with no communication from our legal counsel, who statutorily whose duty is to represent the commissioners, and we're not getting any action or response or clarification from that, then I guess either our hands are tied or we have to pivot and go get out and spend more money on outside counsel.
And I think that the best, my feeling, my position on this would be as far as all the stakeholders in this, that we've had, the common police judges, the sheriff, clerk of courts, everybody that's been involved in this committee, and including all of the, construction, officials on this. I think that we need to put together a letter to them to let them understand and just make them aware of what our situation is, and that there is a good chance that this is going to be backed up because we do not have an agreement. We don't have a purchase agreement, we don't have the lease agreement completed, and I just think that I wouldn't support Jim, and nothing personal, but I think that the long-term effect is that we need to do things right, and that's my position on this. And I just think that we're putting a Band-Aid on something that doesn't really have an answer, and we have a solution, but we're not going towards that direction, because we could have probably been in a position right now to have had that Chase building purchased and have work being done right now. So unless Tim, you feel different.
Well, I don't know. You're saying move them into the Opera House temporarily.
Only because we own the building and it's on the square.
Understood.
And then we put Myers Enrollment on the job to finish up the lease, right, Linda? To get us to the finish line?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, and then I'll share this with everybody that I think you got a letter from the owners of the Chase building and said with this lease situation that we want to get in there, it's taken them longer to fix a wall or something. So, and then there was a date on the letter, that their estimated time frame. So we have another obstacle about getting the law library and probation out of the basement. So did you want to share that with us, Linda?
Well, I got an email this morning saying that when they opened up the front wall under the window, the damage was worse than they thought, and they wanted to suggest that they be moved back to March 1st.
Where, I'm sorry, what wall?
Okay, the space that we are going to be leasing for those two apartments, there's a room that's under the front windows that face out on the square and had some water damage that they had agreed to fix before we moved in, and when they went to go in there to repair it, they found it was more extensive than they thought. Our attorney's response was that was a non-starter, that February 1st is our date.
Okay.
So that is still up in the air as to the timing of things. I have not yet communicated with those two departments to see. I think there is a space they could share depending on if it makes sense for a law library and a probation department to share space temporarily. I certainly don't have the authority to say, oh sure, allow them. I need to ask. And that's where that sits right now. Our position is February 1st is when we want the lease to be.
So that's still possible then?
So the other thing that we could look at is, why don't we look at the possibility maybe of calling for a meeting with everyone, and being able to sit down and discuss some of these options and see exactly where we sit. And if the project gets pushed back, it gets pushed back. But I don't know what else to say at this point. Because at the end of the day, we need to look at this as got to be responsible with tax dollars on what we're going to do with this.
Yeah, and it's my understanding, some of this equipment, I guess, for lack of better, IT equipment, some of it is transferable or transportable. They could put it in, take it out, take it with them if they need to. But you know, the fact remains, you still got to spend X amount to purchase it, install it, you know,
Right.
the time, effort. I hate to be putting more back into the Opera House when we're, you know, everybody's been diligently trying to get out of the Opera House and to get that up on the market. And, you know, I know there's interested parties in possibly purchasing that from the
Right.
county, so that's great, which we've been saying that for 10 years. But the, I think the goal is to try and get this lease agreement settled ASAP, so we can keep moving forward and get the law library over to where it is intentionally going. So I have no problem reaching out to both the judges or all the judges and just bring them up to date, or I agree, maybe it's better to put it documented, put it in a letter. Here's where we are as today. I don't
And maybe
know.
put a timeline of what, you know, just so that, you know, we've tried. you
And
know.
I don't know if there's a knockdown dead date. You're saying February 1st? That's the,
There's a little wiggle room on that,
okay.
but our intention was that the lease would begin February 1st.
So when does the law library text it have to be out of there and so they can start the construction? I mean, I'm
They
sure they
have told
probably.
us February 1st, but then they've come back with, well, if it was the 6th, that would be okay.
Mhm.
There's a little wiggle space
Mhm.
on it.
I mean,
Um,
and our outside counsels reviewed this and they're locked and loaded. They said they're ready to go.
Pretty close.
But it's just the prosecutor's office, for whatever reason, is not responding, nor you're saying that if it doesn't have a signature of the prosecutor's office, the auditor's office won't,
I'm
Or-
not sure about that. I have heard that that might be the case. I don't
Okay.
know that that's
so,
true.
again, to me, this feels intentional and like some kind of a, you know, like tennis match we're watching here or something, you know. So I'm just gonna, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, my first choice would be, get the lease done, get the two departments over there, and then there's no holdup on the scheduling for the project. That's my first choice.
yeah, yeah,
I just want to think and talk out loud about what's our other options.
right.
So,
I do think we will be hard pressed to have IT in place by that time frame if something isn't done.
Quickly. Yeah.
Okay,
But I agree with, you know, with Ralph as far as pouring money into something we don't own. Even though some of it's transferable, you know, we can take with us, I'm hesitant to do that without even a lease in place, you know.
right.
I understand.
So, I don't know, if we can make some moves today, you know, make some phone calls and try and get this thing moving, I don't know. If not, we're gonna have to pivot and do something else.
okay, just wanted to
Yeah.
bring it up.
Yeah, no,
Discuss it.
I appreciate it, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I asked-
Just one of other things, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I have some question about this.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you at liberty to?
Well, your name and where you're from?
Yeah, Nancy MacArthur, Chardon, Ohio.
Okay.
Are you at liberty to disclose who the owners of the property are?
Public
Is that kind of on the record?
Mr. Jalapis and Mr. Katsu?
record.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Both of them? Is it, am I understanding correctly that you're looking to lease some of the buildings there, but then you're still looking to purchase the property as well?
Correct.
Is that accurate?
That is correct,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Nobody else? All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. You know,